And we are live. Folks, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Bassin Magazine podcast. Bassin Magazine, folks, the official magazine of the Weekend Angler. It's my unspeakable honor. I'm so honored, and Bassin Magazine is so honored. I'm Brad Yola is honored to have Keith Poche, Bassmaster Open champion, Red River 2022. How are you doing tonight, Keith?
Man, I'm good. Actually at an open right now, getting ready. I've been practicing. We start tomorrow, so
Lake
it's all
Hartwell,
good.
right?
Sir?
Lake Hartwell?
That's correct. Yeah, we're at Lake Hartwell, South Carolina, Georgia line. And first time I've ever been on this body of water. I got here over the weekend, and I pass over it all the time. Traveling to it from events on 85, and but this is the first time I actually launched the boat here. So it's been exciting. It's a good lake, and can't wait to get started tomorrow.
I bet you can't. Man. You're just off that adrenaline high of winning a Bassmaster Open. Is that your first win ever, Keith?
It is on the bass side. I've won some MLF stuff, and then a Toyota series. So yeah, I got a couple of wins underneath my belt. But as far as Bassmaster, I've been close so many times. I led the Classic in 2012, and just been so close, but never been able to get it done. But it was really nice to get it done a couple of weeks ago on the Red River. Especially close to home, place I fished a lot, and I had quite a few events, and I always come up short. But it was sweet to get it done finally.
And particularly in your home state, it's pretty much close to your home waters, isn't it?
Yeah, so I grew up about an hour south of there in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and to be honest with you, I never really fished the river a whole lot growing up. I moved away when I was, teenager, and just went to college, and I really started fishing tournaments once I was in college when I was in Alabama. So, my history on the Red River was, post college, that time frame when I really got into fishing. I didn't grow up fishing the river, but it's a river system. I mean, you fish one, you fish them all. They're all pretty similar. They set up pretty similar. So, I love fishing rivers. I feel like confident, just the way my style of fishing shallow. So it just kind of falls in my wheelhouse. And just being at home and me being there, once I fish tournaments, I spent a lot of time there. I really like the river, and it was nice to get it done.
Yeah, we have our very first comment, Keith. It's from Cajun Rob, a very good friend of mine from South Central Kentucky. He said, "Congrats on the win, and in an aluminum boat. That's next level." Yes, I couldn't agree more, man. Could not agree more. Why don't you tell them about your boat, Keith?
Yeah, so it's an 18-foot Gator Trax. It's their GT series. They call it a 1650. And I have a 90-horse Mercury on it. Actually, I'm underpowered. When they built this boat for me, I've always had a 90 on my other little off-the-grid boat. So I said, hey, I'm just going to get a 90 and put on it. And it runs great. I mean, it runs about like the last one, about 40 miles an hour, 42 if I'm light. But it's actually underpowered. I can put a 115 on this boat. So maybe in the future I may get a little bit bigger motor just for maybe a little speed or performance wise. But the boat's phenomenal. I had them lay it out the way I want it. As far as the interior, their whole design is pretty standard, but they can do whatever you want on the inside of the boat. If you want so many rod lockers, however you want it. If you want a duck boat or a fishing boat or whatever. That's the good thing about Gator Trax. They'll build it how you want it. They don't have like just set plans that, you either get this or you don't get that. No, you meet with them. They go over, they ask you a bunch of questions, how you want it, what you want. I mean, you can customize this boat to the T. So check them out. I mean, it's just a phenomenal boat. Folks, it's extremely shallow. I've been fishing the opens all year. I fished every tournament, whether it's big water, small water, backwater, deep water. I've fished all year on the opens out of this boat, and I've had a lot of success. I mean, I feel like I'm comfortable. It's my wheelhouse. Now, I'm not catching them every tournament, but I typically figure something out and have a decent finish. So, but I'm leading the points on the overall in the open. So it's been it's been in my favor. I mean, things have really worked out as far as that goes on the opens, and just been catching fish and having fun. And that's what it's all about. I'm
Yeah.
doing what I want to do. I'm doing it how I want to do it, and that's fun. You know what I'm saying? You can have fun with that. You can just go out, no stress, and just go fishing and do it how you want to do it.
Yeah. There we go. I just put a crawler down there, Gator Tracks boats. Check that out, guys. You know, they're built
Yeah.
right down here around where I live, you know, Springfield, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot about them. Now, Keith just took them up to the forefront of everything.
Yeah, they can't build them fast enough. Really, they get phone calls every day. But keep calling them, guys. Hey, check them out. I'm telling you, they got all kind of stuff. They got a strike series. That's what I fish on the Bass Pro Tour, the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour. It's a 20-foot aluminum boat with a 250. I mean, the performance, the way they got that hull design, it's got a performance hull. It runs in the mid 70s, even upper 70s. Depends on how you have it loaded and what's in it. But it's a phenomenal boat, and it can compete with any other fiberglass on the market. So um, I'm really happy to be with the company because they got a lot of good things going for them. All their boats have a lifetime warranty. That's I mean that's strong. I mean, because they have the confidence, the way they build these boats, the toughest they build them so tough that they can guarantee that hull is not going to be compromised in normal conditions. Now, I mean, if it's anything kind of, if it's a user error, I mean that's a different story. But for them to offer a warranty like that and them not have any, they don't have any issues. It's just a well-built boat. It's all custom built. It's all hands on deck. It's not an assembly line or whatever. I mean, they're actually there making every weld. There's a human being making every weld and custom cutting all these pieces and parts and putting it together. So to have something like that is just really special. But they are time consuming. It takes a little while to build these boats. But when you spend your money, you're getting something that you paid for. I mean, you're not buying something that's going to fall apart in a year or two. So
So,
I'm happy to be a part of a company like that, a good company that I feel like I can trust and I can stand behind as well. Because when I go out and promote, I want to promote something that's really good.
so I saw an amazing video about you. I'm I'm sure you've had hundreds and hundreds of comments about this, but you want to talk about that a little bit?
Which one you talking about? I put a lot of them.
Yeah, you sure do. But the one that you had to go over the rock dam that somebody built to prevent you from getting back to your fishing spot.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that was an unfortunate situation. There's no question, there's no doubt, 100%. Someone put rocks in this cut. The water level didn't change, and you could tell. You could look at the rocks; they were fresh rocks, and they even put rocks. So when you can look at another video, I ran through this other this other cut, and it was all sand, and there was no rock. But they even put rocks in front of that one, but they didn't put as many. It didn't deter me on that one. So yeah, I mean it was my tournament to win because there was 3 boats that followed me that morning to see where I was going to whatever, people follow, fishermen. Well, so when I show up and I start to go through this cut, boom, I hit like all of a sudden. I'm like, what's going on here? Like the water hadn't dropped, everything's the same. I mean, what? And it just hit me. I kind of had a feeling. I mean, I told another buddy, I'm like, I hope nobody tries to do anything, this and that. And sure enough, they did. They absolutely did. So, and I got to looking this and that. I even tried to run out, like just jump it with the boat, but I didn't want to hit it too hard. I didn't want to get dangerous. I kind of got, a little speed, and I hit it. Boom! I got hung up. I'm like, dang. I'm calling the tournament director. I'm telling him what's going on, and I don't know what to do. And them guys that were following me, they overheard the whole conversation, what was going on, and man, they come up, and they just jumped in the water and they started moving those rocks, and they were like, "Yep, these are fresh rocks." They were showing me that. I mean, it's just, you could tell that someone put those rocks there. So I had to call the tournament director back, like, "Look here, like I didn't ask these guys to do this." You know what I'm saying? They were just following me and they seen what was going on, and I never even talked to them. I had my marshal, I had a guy riding with me. He wasn't fishing. He verified I didn't ask nothing, no help or anything. So I got cleared on that I was, I could go through there, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't ask for assistance in the tournament. So
Sure.
they just took it upon themselves. They seen what the situation was and what was going on. They overheard me talk to the tournament director, and they just, man, I tell you what, if they weren't there, I don't get in there, and I may not win this tournament. Like it was just meant to be, man. I got really emotional. Like I was crying. I was crying out my eyes, but I was like, man, I cannot believe somebody would do this. Like it was just, it hurt me. It hurt me bad because, you know, they were talking, I was doing this, I was pushing in and blah, blah. Man, I did not break one rule. Not one rule. I passed the polygraph. They put me through the ringer, man. I mean, they asked me all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I don't even know why they were complaining. Like, and it really wasn't that hard to get in that cut, the way I was running in there and all this stuff. So they were just griping for nothing. And there was nothing going on. Like, it was ridiculous. That's what it was. But I tell you, man, they put me through it. And I'm just so thankful. It made it even that much sweeter to win it. You know what I'm saying? To like just show them and to shut them up and just, I don't know, man. It was a tough one, but we got it done.
Let me ask you this. What was so different about that place back there that you were willing to go through that?
So I went in there and like way pre-practice, like over the weekend. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I don't know, but I went in there and let me back up. I had COVID. Okay, I had COVID leading up to this event. I didn't get to fish a whole lot. I mean, I'm weak. I didn't get a negative test till Friday afternoon. So I finally started getting out, and I couldn't even fish all day. So, but anyway, so I ran in there. A buddy of mine was with me, and we ran in there and we fished, and we had like 8 bites. Like, it was nothing. I checked 1 or 2, and it was like, you know, 2 pound, 3/4, 2 pound. I'm like, man, this is pretty sweet. You know what I'm saying? So I got out. I mean, I ain't fooling with it no more. And then I started hearing all the guys, nobody catching no fish. And, you know, if you can catch a limit, you're going to be good. And I went fishing the river a little bit, but I mean, maybe like a couple of hours. Like, I'm telling you, I didn't practice a whole lot because I just didn't feel like it. I wanted to rest because I wanted to be fresh for the tournament. So I'm like, man, I may have something pretty special here. Like it may have a shot. And another thing about this place is nobody's been in there. I mean, I almost was able to get in there with my little boat. So I think those fish just hadn't been fooled with in forever. So I was fishing for fresh fish that hadn't been pressured, and of course I didn't know how many was in there, so I didn't really know how to play it. I got a limit each day. Like the first day I fished about a half a day. I got out, caught one over 3 pounds in the river. Like once I got in the river, I just went fishing. I'm just like, man, I'm looking for a big bite. Caught one over 3 pounds, like culled up 1.5 pounds the first day. And did the same exact thing on day 2. I caught a limit, got out, and caught one over 3. That's what I'm saying. It was my tournament. Everything I did was the right decision. And then the last day, I had a couple pound lead or whatever. And I was like, I think it was a pound lead, or it might have been a pound. I don't know. But I think it was a pound or whatever. But I just stuck it out. I just, you know, after dealing with everything I dealt with that morning, I got in there. Like, let me tell you, it took me a while to even start fishing. Like once I got in there, like I'm shaking. I did that video, but I mean, I started trying to fish, and I tell my mom, I said, man, I got to take a minute. I just sat down. I was just really hyped up. I had a lot of emotions going on, and it took me a little bit to get to fishing. And then I started fishing. I'd catch a fish, and I'd put it in the box. I'm like, yeah, that's 1. 4 more. I just need 4 more. And then I would sit down after I caught a fish. I'd sit down after that. I was like, man, I'm just nervous. I'm shaking. I got it. So I didn't fish a whole lot, but I just stayed in there. I just said, the heck with it. I'm just going to stay in here and just look. And I didn't have that big of a bag. I had like 11 pounds something. Like, I mean, I don't think they had big fish in there. I think it just had a good number of fish. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a good.
Oh, yeah.
They just live in there because they had some deep water. They had some deep holes, and there's 2 deep holes. They had plenty of water to bait bait everywhere. They just had, you know, the river floods and it comes down and fish get in there and they get trapped. And it was just a deal that worked out for me.
So what kind of presentations were you using back there?
So I caught most of my fish on a Berkeley Pit Boss 3-inch on the green pumpkin. The first 2 days, I did catch one throwing a General Max scent on a shaky head out on the river on a little rocky point. And, you know, they got a lot of that riprap, rocks and them wing downs and different things. I got on a little cut, and I don't know if it was because of the guys locking back up, but it had a little current. Like current would kind of blow through there a little bit. And I threw that shaky head there with that Max scent General, and I caught 3. Like, I caught one that didn't help me. Well, the first one I caught was a big one. It went over 3 pounds, and I caught 2 more, and they both didn't help me. But they were good fish. Like, they were keepers. Like, I would love to have them. Like, they were the sizes of some of the fish that I had in the box already. Just didn't quite cull out anything. So I caught a limit. I fished some other stretches too that first. I caught a limit. Like, I don't know, a limit and a half, maybe 2 limits. Once I come out, I'm like, man, there's some fish out here. Like, I don't know when these guys are not, like, I don't know why they complain. Like, I caught some fish. I didn't even fish. The place I just pulled up. The key thing out there, out on the outside of the river, is I focused on upriver and downriver sides of cuts that's going back in backwater. Because a lot of times, a lot of them fish, they pull out of them cuts, and they'll get right in them rivers on lay down, some rock, different. So I just fished both sides of the cuts. And then I'd like 100 yards and I'd crank up and I'd go to another one. I didn't waste my time on just nothing banks. So, and that was the difference in getting those 2 big bites the first 2 days. Because if I don't catch those fish, if I just stay in that pond and that's all I do to end all, no, I don't win this tournament. Hackney wins because I called up 1.5 pounds each day. I mean, seriously. So, I mean, it was very crucial for me to catch those 2 fish in the river.
Yes. Yeah. We have another comment. Bassin Magazine came on and says, Bassin Magazine, thanks, Keith, for being our guest tonight. And check out Jay Angel's Let's Talk Fishing on YouTube. So Brad Yule from Bassin Magazine wanted to personally thank you for coming on. I guess he was busy trying to get the magazines. He has a deadline to meet. So,
yeah.
But man, that's so funny. I didn't win this. Greg Hackney was going to win it.
Yeah, Greg Hackney finished right behind me in second place. So
he sure did.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I don't catch those 2 fish, I mean, he wins the tournament hand down because, you know, I just caught what I could catch out of that pond. I didn't want to, you know, I don't know how many was in there. I knew I had something going on. I didn't want to call a 2-pounder with a 2 and 1 ounce, 2 and 2 ounces. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was pointless to try to. I didn't want to burn all these fish for ounces because they just weren't big. I mean, I had one in practice. I pulled up. It looked like a big one, but I don't know. I mean, but I never seen that fish. I mean, if it was the big one, I never seen it because I didn't catch any giants in there for sure.
So with the Berkeley Pit Boss, were you punching? Were you jigging? Were you Texas?
Okay,
rigging?
So yeah, no, there was no grass in there. I had a couple of lay downs and some rock banks. So it's kind of hard to explain, but when you go through this cut, it was a long, narrow, like, I mean, it wasn't narrow. I mean, you couldn't hardly cast across it, and it was longer than it was wide, of course. And then it'd be at the end, it had a deep hole, like 10 foot, and then there was some rock in the bank and rock on the bank. Then there was a cut you could go through. There was another long canal that went down. There was another deep hole in the back. So the fish were concentrating around the deeper water, of course. I mean, hot, just whatever. But just when it started getting shallow, there was a few fish on the flat, but close to the deep water. But they had a lot of lay downs, just this, old trees that fell in from the wind or whatever. But there were 2 big trees in those big deep holes. And I caught a lot of my fish out of each tree in the 2 deep holes. Now that was the difference. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just pitching in them trees and I had to work it slow. At Berkeley Pit Boss, the power bait, I don't, scent really makes a difference a lot of times. But, it was off color, but it wasn't dirty. And that
Okay.
green pumpkin, I felt like was still a good color to use. I think we don't give fish a credit enough. Like if it's like not clear, if it got a little stain, oh, we gotta use black and blue. No. I mean, green pumpkin still shows a presence in that, off stained water, and you can
Yes.
still get bit because it looks more natural. I feel like I think a lot of times we try to go to black and blue, and it's too bold. It's too much of a transition of color in that type of water. So I tried to go natural. I did catch some. I ran out of the green pumpkin on the final day. I did catch some on the black and blue, but most of my fish come on the green pumpkin for sure.
Wow. So you were just working though. You're just working that. Just
Yeah, I mean,
it's not
just
really a
pitching
creature,
it out, the lay downs, like, we're suspended in them trees too, because it's deep water. That tree come down in deep water. I caught them, up tight on the bank and all the way out to the end of the tree. But yeah, I mean, throwing on a 7.6 heavy Fenwick Elite rod, that's just like the perfect setup. 7.6 heavy, 20 pound, 100% fluorocarbon, trilene, and 3/8 ounce weight. Just not too heavy. Just something that can get down between those trees and just work its way down. And yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Just put it on and hold on.
Cajun Rob wants to know: Do you peg your sinker when?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Especially fishing around structured trees, because a lot of times you pitch in there, your bait fall, hit something, and then your weight to fall. Your bait's still up here, but your weight to fall down, and then you just working your way. Then a lot of times your bait will get wrapped around. Yeah. Anytime you're fishing structure like that, you're pitching scattered stuff, you definitely want to peg, because you keep that weight to the bait so it doesn't wrap around anything, and it just yeah, no. You want to be able to, especially when they bite it too. You're not going to feel the bite as well if you got a lot of slack and your weight's pulling down. And yeah, I don't care if I'm fishing deep with a big worm or whatever. I always peg my weight, always. Some
Okay.
Some people disagree, but I personally peg my weight.
Here's a general bass fishing question. Since it says Bass Magazine is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler, address jigs versus Texas rigging.
Jigs versus Texas rig. Texas rig is a little bit more weedless as far as a creature bait. You can fish in a lot more different areas, and it has a different look. It's more of a sleek, slim.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as loud as a jig. I think they both have their moments. A
Sure.
jig, the skirt is flaring, and I think sometimes a jig is better. A lot of times that fish will react to that versus a soft plastic. So, and the trailer matters too. I will put the pit balls on the back as a trailer, or the chigger crawl.
Yeah.
I think that's a real big deal as well, the type of trailer you use. But a jig has its moments. I probably shouldn't. I probably don't fish it as much as I should. I love a jig. I've had some really good events on a jig, but I think that sometimes, especially high pressure places, throwing a jig is the wrong answer, because they want something a little more subtle. They don't want that bigger, but that skirt. I just think they want that small, thin, small profile bait, just to slip in there, look real natural, and I think they react to it a lot of time. A jig, like I said, it has its times. Spring flipping some bushes, or skipping around some docks, Rocky Point. Then they're in that mood. They're just they're just good fish that's looking for a meal, easy meal. But on up in the year when it gets pressure, it's hot, and they just don't. That's a normal jig. Now if we talk about football, you got swim jigs, and I mean we got all kind of jigs now.
Yeah.
Swim jig. I love throwing a swim jig any time of the year. Especially once it warms up a little bit, they are chasing something. If the wind's blowing on some grass line or something like that, I will throw a swim jig all day if the wind's blowing on that grass line, and moving it fast, skipping it up, through that grass, making a lot of commotion. It just looks natural to them. It looks like a bait, darting through that grass. So, yeah, I love a jig, but I just think sometimes we got to put it down. I think we got to put it down sometimes and just, throw something a little bit more subtle, something that ain't so bulky and big that's going to get a bite when you need it.
Ooh, and here's Cajun Rob said he's looking forward to seeing you fishing the Bassmaster Classic in Knoxville.
Yeah, maybe they eat a big jig then
Early
in the year. For sure.
Not going to be, in March in Knoxville, there's not going to be a surplus of boats. I didn't know what your word to use,
Yeah.
Because of course there's going to be boats watching you guys, but
yeah,
I don't think there's going to be hundreds of other guys fishing.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't want to be in there mixing it up with you guys. No way.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to going back to the Classic. My last Classic was actually there on Fort Loudon. I think it was 2019, and didn't have the tournament I wanted, but I found the fish, and it just didn't work out for me. You go for the gusto on this deal. When you show up for the Bassmaster Classic, you ain't. I'm not going to catch keepers. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for the big bites.
Yes,
and it just didn't work out. But I'm looking forward to going back. It's got some good fish, and maybe I can figure something out. I had the last time I've been on that place is when I took out second day at the Bassmaster Class in 2009. I have not been back, so I'll be heading that way in the next month. So and spending some time up there.
Well, all us boys from Louisiana are definitely going to be cheering you on, man.
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
We're definitely going to be cheering you on. I was cheering when I found out you had won.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I had a feeling, like, especially after day two, I'm just like, God, no, I don't know what Hackney's going to do, but man, I got a good shot. If I just catch, I just need to catch 5. I just need to catch 5 and just let it fall where it may. And, I caught my biggest fish at the end of the day and called out a little bitty fish. And I was like, man, it wouldn't have made a difference. I think I was still there. I think I still had it because I think he only had 9 pounds. But the difference was, like I said, those 3-pounders I caught the first 2 days. That was the difference. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everybody's been dying to ask you this. So you're standing up there on the stage, and of course, Bassmaster loves to do the show. Mm-hmm. You didn't know for sure whether you've won or not. You must have been overcome with emotion when they finally announced it was you.
Yeah, I kind of felt better after Hackney weighed in. I was a nervous wreck because he wouldn't tell me. He wouldn't even let me look at his fish. We in line next to him. Like, I think he was doing it on purpose, and that's fine. I love Hackney to death. Like, he's awesome, but he was messing with me. And but when he said he had 9, when he weighed 9 pounds something, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm up a pound. I think I have close to 10. There's no way. I mean, I knew it. I mean, I would have had to have like 8 pounds, for him to beat me. So I knew I had more than 8 pounds. So at that point, when he weighed in, I went up there and talked a little bit. I kind of had a feeling, but you're never sure until they tell you that until you put them on the scales and actually read that weight out. But no, I was a nervous wreck, man. I was wanting to get it done bad. Like, if I would have lost that tournament, it would have hurt. Like, I probably would have quit fishing. I don't know. Man, I tell you what, man, that's a place that, like I said before, I've had several events there. I've led the Bassmaster Classic, finished 3rd, and I've had several top 10s and opens. It's just happy. I'm just happy I finally conquered the Red River. I mean, it was sweet.
We have another question from Cajun Rob again. He said, have you decided which trails you're going to be fishing next season?
And I'd love to fish both. I mean, that's my plan. I mean, I kind of briefly looked at the schedule and wasn't really 100% aware of some of the conflicts. So I don't know. I'm trying to, weigh my options. I got some. I want to fish both. I mean, that's my game plan. That's where I'm at right now. But unless something drastically changes, and but I just don't want to close the door on opportunity and close the door on MLF. I want to keep those options open for the future. I may not by be missing some events. I may not have the season I would like unless I really, really catch them. But I just hate closing the door on two events, two different leagues, one of each, and missing out on opportunities in the future.
I hear you, man. It's got to be a difficult, difficult.
Yeah,
Man.
I'm just keeping it open for right now and seeing what happens.
So you're at Lake Hartwell now. You're getting ready to
Yeah, we start tomorrow.
start practice tomorrow?
Over.
Oh, practice is
No,
over. Okay.
the practice is over. The event starts tomorrow. It's game time, so we heading out in the little 18-foot gator tracks with the 90 horse, and we're gonna make us a long run. I'm running about 43 miles one way, so it's gonna be. I don't even know if I can get to where I want to go. I mean, it's pretty sketchy. Like, they drop in the water. It's real shallow, it's rock. I don't know. I found some big fish. I found some giants. So I don't even know if I can get there. I'm just going. Like, there's really no other reason. I'm going to win. Like, I've made the elites. I've qualified for the classic. The only other thing really to aim for is the AOY for the opens.
There you go.
And I don't want to kill it on this event, but at the same time, I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go out and get a limit. No, I'm going out to win. I'm going out to put myself in the best opportunity to catch 5 big ones, and I feel like that's my best opportunity is to run way up there where I'm going and try to catch 5 big ones. And I may hit something. I may break down. I may bust my prop. I may mess my lower. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I've done a lot of research. I did my homework. I've eased up through there. I've checked it all out. We'll see.
Wow. So you going after spots?
Actually, there's largemouth and spots up there. Of course, I've seen some big, like 5-6 pound largemouth, like big ones, like giants. Like
big ones, huh?
There's 25 pounds of fish up there, no question. There's 25 pounds of fish. I seen them with my eyes, like I watched them in that clear water, like they would follow my bait, like 100% giants. And
wow,
I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't even know if I can get to them, but we're gonna try.
Wow,
we'll try. And I've caught some fish in other places, back a few creeks here and there. If I can't make it, maybe I have time to go run a creek or two and get a limit, small limit, 10 pounds or 12 pounds, just stay in it. But get my points or whatever. But my number one thing tomorrow is go and try to catch a big sack of fish.
Well, I will be watching you. Thank you. Man. Wish you the best of luck up over there out east.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you having me on. It's anytime I can get on, talk fishing, talk about what hey, I'm all for it, man. It's good stuff. I'm having fun. You know what I'm saying? I think I think we missed the boat here. And we're all competitors. Okay, yes. I don't care who you are. If you fish a tournament, you're a competitor, and for all your listeners or whatever. But if you're not having fun, I mean, you look at Tom Brady or all these guys or any kind of NFL, NBA. I mean, those guys play the game because they enjoy it. They have fun, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm having fun. I'm fishing the way I want to fish, and the boat I want to fish with. And it took a while. I have fought this for years. But I finally found it. Like just me fishing out of this little boat and doing what I want to do, going to places I want to go, figuring it out. That's like the chore. That's like the challenge for me is can I get there? Can I physically get my boat to that point and catch fish and it be legal? Like, I'm following the rule. I'm doing everything within the guidelines of Bassmaster, the way they have their rules set up, of course. But I use and I utilize every tool possibly within the rules to get where I want to get to catch fish. And it's no different from a guy using live scope or side image or they using all these tools, electronics and different things and their baits and all that to find these fish on that electronic, and they're doing everything they can to catch them. So I use every tool in my opportunity, in my possession that I can to go where I want to go. There's no difference. So, but I'm having fun at it. I'm not a live scope guy. I utilize it sometimes on the bass pro tour and the big boat, but my deal is in the dirt. I'm getting dirty. Like I'm doing what I got to do because that's fun to me.
Yes.
That using a live scope and out deep, that's not fun to me. That's not fun. It's just dull. Like it's just not. Like I just think that's the most boring thing in fishing right now.
I completely agree with you because when I feel a thump, I know I've done something right. In particularly when it's a surprise.
Yeah.
And I
exactly.
I'm not using live scope. I'm just casting out there.
Yeah, and I'm sponsored by Garmin. Yeah, I'm sponsored by Garmin. Don't get me wrong. Like I love it. Like I mean, I utilize it in times where I have to.
Well, it's a tool.
And guys have done well. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying that's not my deal. That's not what I look forward to do. But some guys do. That's their thing. That's fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that that's not something that I enjoy. What makes me happy, and everybody's different. I think a guy, especially guys that's been complaining about me or this and that. I've been running this boat all year. They complain all they want, but I think they need to figure out what makes them happy because I think they're miserable. I think those guys got some issues because they're not having fun. If they're having fun, they're going to enjoy it. They're going to be happy for me. They're going to be catching fish. Life is good. Blah blah blah. You don't see me on social media complaining. You don't see. I've never protested a person on bass fishing before in my life. I don't even know how to do it. Like, I don't even know what you do, the steps you take to protest somebody. So I just think they're miserable people out there. Well, so, I mean, I don't know.
With the season you've had, Keith, of course people are going to come at you.
Yeah.
It's just, all I have to say is congratulations, man. You're doing Louisiana proud. You're doing the sport of bass fishing proud because you're working your ass off. You're having fun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
More power to you there, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I'm happy. It's all good, bro. All good.
Congratulations. I mean, the world would be a better place if people would just be happy for other people who are doing
absolutely,
well.
Absolutely, man. I see people this and that or say this, and I'm just like, man, what's the problem? What I mean, just relax, bro. Chill out. Like, I mean. What is the deal? Like,
then you come on my show and tell us how you did it. Wow,
Yeah.
I've had so many people. Where'd you catch those fish? In the water. Oh, geez. You know what? I bet you I have 2,000 days on the water more than you.
Yeah.
I can tell you how you caught those fish.
I don't really care to tell people because, for one, most people can't get where I'm going, and two, I mean, like, who's going to actually do? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like.
They can't work.
It's hard to tell somebody how to catch a fish. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to go out there and experience and do it all yourself. And find. I'm telling you, guys need to find their deal. They need to find themselves. Like they need to find out what they're best at. I don't think a lot of guys, they don't understand that. They don't know what they're best at. If they would concentrate on figuring that out and doing what they do best, they're going to have a lot more success. It may be against the grain sometimes, like, oh, you should be doing this at this lake or that lake. But no, you need to do you. Now, it's not going to always work out, but you have to have confidence in what you like to do and how you want to do it.
I like to keep my confidence thing kind of quiet because I'm confident in weightless wacky rigging, and a lot of people don't respect that. But I'll tell you what, I've caught fish in about 30 different states doing that, and in Canada.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a killer, man. Like I'll be throwing some of that tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like I just I power fish too, but I throw finesse stuff. I mean, but I think my deal is location more than it is baits. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's me getting back where I feel good, where I feel comfortable, where I want to be fishing. Baits is kind of second. I mean, I think the Berkeley pit balls did a few things, the slobber knocker. I mean, there's some core baits that I use. I keep on my pole, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just finding the location for me, doing what it takes, the adventure.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what
I
Brad
feel
and I
like this is an adventure. You know what I mean? Like I'm
sure.
like, cause stuff, it's exciting to me because I can hit something, I can break down, I can run out of gas. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen, and I don't even make it back to weigh in. And I like that. Like, I love that adrenaline rush. Like, I like that living on the edge kind of deal.
That's what I say about tournament fishing. Anything that can go wrong has gone wrong, and it will
Yeah.
go wrong again.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
At the time, I was in 10 feet of water, but 6-foot waves on Lake Winnebago, and I hit a rock so hard it broke the shaft.
Winnebago up north.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big lake, man. I've been there one time. I was there like 2 years ago for the Bass Pro Tour, and I mean, I didn't make the cut. I did all right. I just didn't. I stayed close by the round. I don't know. That was a big old place. I just couldn't.
It's a big old place, and it can be very dangerous because the waves can come up in no time, and when you're up north, you're going to get wind.
That's right. That's right. Yes,
it's not like down here where you and I live, where it's 95 degrees, the wind is 0, and the humidity is 95 also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, hey man, Keith, I don't know how to express my gratitude for you coming on the show. You're this close to your win. I'm sure you're still on the adrenaline high.
But yeah, man, no, it's all good. I appreciate the opportunity. Anything, I love talking about it.
Yeah.
Everybody go on my social media, send me a message. I mean, I tell you, I try to respond to everybody, and I think I have. But yeah, I mean, people have sent me. I don't even know how many messages I've got.
You probably have 5,000 in the last couple of weeks.
I mean, I don't even know. It's insane. But I respond to everybody. So if you got a question for me, hit me up, give me a like, follow me, whatever. Go to my YouTube. I hadn't posted any off the grids lately, but they coming. There's some more coming. I promise you. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I mean, just enjoy it. Yeah, I do a lot of crazy shit, man. I mean, I like to have fun. You want to see some crazy stuff? Come follow me. We'll talk. We'll have some good time. Hey, tell you what, if you got a good place you want to take me, you do it off the grid. Hey, I'll be happy. You can come with me. I mean, we can roll out. You better be ready, though. You better be ready because it's gonna be some work.
Wow, yeah. You heard it here, folks. You heard it. What Keith just said, man. Wow. Yeah. Keith, so the way I end each show is by having my guest do shout outs. Any thank yous you want to do to sponsors, companies, corporations?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, all my sponsors. I mean, and let me just add to that. I mean, any kind of, angler that's on any kind of professional tour, even opens, minor stuff. I mean, if it wasn't for the sponsors, and it's kind of cliche, everybody but honestly, I mean, we can't do it without them. I mean, it's such a blessing to have what we have and opportunities. I've been blessed. I've been doing this for a long time, but me teaming up with Pure Fishing, Berkeley, Abu Garcia, Fenwick, that's such a great company, a big company that cares about the sport. They've been coming out with a lot of new stuff that's really, really good. They're actually innovative. Like, they're doing stuff like with the power bait, the Maxent. Like, there's so much going on in this company. I'm happy to be a part of it because they're going places. They're trying to make fishing better for the average angler to be able to compete. So, being a part of a company like that, it's just unreal, man. I can't thank them enough, and just happy to have them on my team. But Frog Talks. I've been with Frog Talks, most of my career. If you're looking for a great rain suit, check them out. I mean, they got some new stuff, the FTX. Slim fits good, it's comfortable. I mean, Mercury, Gator Tracks, American Sport Fish. I mean, I got good people, and I don't have like tons of sponsors. The companies I have, I've built relationships with them. I've been with them multi years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, oh well, sorry, buddy, but I got a better offer from Blowjo over here. No, I stick with the companies that I've teamed with because it's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? You can't just jump around and this and that, go from here, go from there. That ain't me. That ain't me. I'm not that kind of guy. I feel I'm so, I guess what it is I'm just so appreciative to have what I have that I show them. That's how I show them thanks and my appreciation, because they know I'm there. I'm faithful. I'm not going anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're not a Velcro pro.
No. I'm
Good.
not I ain't gonna say it on here, but I'm not but anyway, you probably know what I'm about.
Oh yeah. That's why I say Velcro pro. It's a little nicer.
Yeah. But
Well,
no, man,
anyways,
I surround myself with good people, man. That's all I do. I try to. A bad one gets in every once in a while, but we weed them out.
well, anyways, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into the Bassin Magazine podcast. Bassin Magazine, guys, Bassin Magazine is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler, and we were proud to have Keith Poche from Louisiana, recent Bassmaster Open champion. Stick around, Keith. I'm going to end the podcast now.
Thank you.